Alright folks, I'm going to be rolling around Denver tonight. Be talking about the alien thing. I noticed there's been a lot of movement on the disclosure front lately. You had the Navy dropping some serious videos, some FLIR footage of some of their Navy pilots that were chasing flying discs at incredible speed, well, impossible speeds as far as our technology goes, making maneuvers that would kill a normal human being, stuff like that. And we haven't really had a whole lot of that coming from the military in a long time. We have our whistleblowers, so we've got our trusty whistleblowers who are out there kind of snitching, you know what I mean, letting us know what's going on in these black programs and these top secret programs. But for the Navy to actually drop some official videos like they did last year is pretty incredible. That you got the Tic Tac UFO incident on the Nimitz from 2004. You've got some FLIR video. We've also had some photos that have been leaking out. The problem, I've been a member of the UFO community for many years. I study it. I'm a believer. I've had my own personal experiences, but that's for a different video. I've read up a lot on the ancient, some of the ancient artwork that you see in these ancient kind of religious texts all make reference to these entities coming down from the sky and showing themselves and kind of affecting our timeline. A lot of people think that these are myths from these stories from the Bible and the Torah and the Quran, you name it. But I don't think they're myths at all. I think people were just describing what they saw. That's what people did back then. They described what they saw. It sounds crazy, but aliens are crazy. You know, it's a crazy subject. It's a disturbing subject. It's something that people, at some point, we as a people are going to have to deal with the fact that we're not alone. And we're going to have to deal with the fact that we've never been alone. And when I talk to people about this, and I see some of the fear responses from people, I always remind people that disclosure, official disclosure, because we've already had disclosure. We've already had credentialed, credible, sane military whistleblowers come out and tell us exactly what's going on. They've spilled the beans about the alien presence. They've spilled the beans about these ancient, you know, these beings that have been visiting the planet for millions of years. This kind of galactic soup that we're in, abductions, experiments, you name it. They've spilled the beans on everything. You know, we've got photos, we've got video, we've got eyewitness testimony, we've got people who, you know, thousands of people who've been abducted and all see the exact same thing. They have the exact same experience. They're seeing the exact same beings. So it's not that we really haven't had disclosure, but we haven't had official disclosure. And until we have official disclosure, you can show all the UFO videos you want to people. You can give them all the eyewitness testimony. You can even plop down, you know, a 4-star colonel or a general who, you know, wound up at the scene of some UFO crash site that they had to clean up and cover up and hide from the public. And you can get these confessions, and people still are gonna need, they're gonna need hard evidence. The brainwashing that has gone on with humanity from our leaders and government has been the real atrocity here, because they're not allowing us to They're not allowing us to evolve. Oh my God, the people out here are insane. There are thousands of people and it's freezing. And they're all drunk. It's all good. So, the atrocity has been the cover-up. Our government has known about the alien presence forever. Some people say all the way back into, the 30s, even the 20s. But if you think about it, humanity's known about the alien presence forever because we have accounts of flying discs in the sky and, people being abducted for hundreds of years. You just have to look at some of these older history books. People have been seeing the same thing for thousands of years. We've even got cave paintings where people were drawing some seriously strange shit on some rock walls that they shouldn't have been drawing that didn't make much sense, which is really weird. But anyway, our government has been hiding this information from us for a long time, and they have their own agenda, and we're not it. They're not interested in disclosing the truth to us because the alien presence, the technology, the consciousness, and everything that around the entire subject is one big, huge control structure, okay? Releasing the information and letting people evolve, letting people go crazy for a little while after they find out, and then, slowly accepting the reality of the alien presence. It's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But the government is going to hold on to this information for as long as humanly possible until they have no other choice. I personally believe that they're even planning, and I've listened to the testimony of some of these insiders that have hinted around that they're actually, before that happens, what they plan on doing when they're kind of backed up against a wall and have no other choice, that they plan on actually using the alien agenda to implement even more control structures, meaning identifying this presence as a threat, an outside threat, an alien threat, and then doing something similar to what they did after 9/11, which was they implemented a bunch of restrictive measures and laws on our Constitution. They wrote up the Patriot Act, which I'm sure was drafted long before the Twin Towers got attacked. And so it's been hinted around that they plan on using the alien presence as an actual way to control us even more, to kind of shred the Constitution more than they already have, to implement martial law scenarios, stuff like that, in the name of national security. They always use national security to justify their illegal behavior. So that would make sense to me from just, the government's MO. Isn't that what they always do? They turn these tragedies into ways to control us, right? You get some over-medicated lunatic that goes in and shoots up a school, and they see it as an opportunity to take people's guns away because they don't want you to be able to defend yourselves from them. That's why. They don't care about children. If they cared about children, they wouldn't be blowing them into a million pieces over, across the ocean, starting wars that have absolutely no meaning. And that's for another video. But so at some point, humanity will have to deal with the fact that we've never been alone here on the planet. The planet is being affected by multiple species of aliens that have been coming here for thousands, probably hundreds of thousands, millions of years. If you think back with the dinosaurs, a lot of stuff that I've read leads me to believe that the dinosaur era was just kind of a genetic experiment from some different species that landed on the planet, seeded them here, and and then just kind of left and just kind of let things play out. With us, I think it's a little bit different as far as how we came to be here. If you look at the ancient Sumerian texts, you'll see the story, the creation story of these gods that traveled here from another planet, according to the text. These were these red-headed giants. You've got these gods, Enki, Enlil, etc., etc. You can look up the Sumerian, kind of that period of our history. They left behind a lot of writings and a ton of artwork, which is really cool. But if you look at the Sumerian creation story, you'll see that these gods had traveled here from another planet. They came down here basically looking for gold, is the way the story goes. Gold seems to be a valuable mineral throughout the universe, and this would make sense, right? So if you were to go up on the moon, right, we went to the moon, and you were to bring, analyze the rocks up there, what the planet's made of, you'll find similar minerals in the rocks on the moon as to the rocks on the Earth. You'll find similar elements. So it would make sense that these elements exist universally, across all planets. Gold, for whatever reason, one of the stories I was reading, this Zechariah Stitchin guy is real big on the Sumerian creation story. He deciphered some of these tablets, and he came to the conclusion that the gold they were mining on this planet, or the reason they came to this planet, was because they were mining gold on their home planet, and basically ran out of the resource and just came here to suck the resource out of our planet, just like we do when we, pull oil from the ground. I'm sure if we found out that there was oil on Mars, we'd be trying to get up there and get it out of the ground if we aren't already. So it would make sense that other species do the same thing. Anyway, the gold thing, from what I've read, is these gods were using it on their home planet to spray the gold particulate into their atmosphere to shield out the radiation, because they had lost some of their atmosphere over thousands, maybe millions of years, which would make sense if you go to some of these, if you look at some of these planets in our solar system, there's evidence that there was life there before, and that over time life possibly died out because of a change in the atmosphere, right? So you see evidence of water on Mars, stuff like that. So it makes sense maybe millions, billions of years ago, there could have been life, organisms on this planet, and maybe when the atmosphere changed, whatever happened, life died out, just like it did on this planet, right? We had the dinosaur era, and then the dinosaurs went extinct. Why? Well, the theory is a big asteroid crashed on the planet and put them into this period of winter, and nothing could survive the cold. So it would make sense that these things also happen on other planets. So to save their atmosphere, they spray this gold particulate into the air, and it blocks out the radiation from their sun in much the same way that we do with aluminum here. So anyway, these Sumerian gods were supposedly involved in our creation, mixing our genes with their own, and already developing, it's not really Homo sapien, but we're caveman. I don't know if that's a hominid. I don't know what they call a caveman. Hominid, I'm not sure. Anyway, so you had an already developing Homo sapien, which would be a caveman, mixed with their DNA. These are a highly evolved aliens that look human. They're just larger than us. So they're also very brilliant scientists. They figured out thousands, maybe millions of years ago, how to alter genetics to do what they want. They're kind of like mad scientists, very smart, intelligent, highly evolved creatures. So they created this race of slaves to help them get the gold out of the ground, and supposedly that's basically how we got here. They came down here, they got what they wanted, they ruled for, a few thousand years, I guess. I'm not sure. And then I think they just picked up and left and went back to wherever they came from. I don't know how big their civilization would be. It could be huge, you know, and they left some people down here while their people stayed up there, I'm sure. But, you know, the people that came here just could have been basically, you know, it's the ancient astronaut theory. You know, they sent a kind of a crew of their own people to traverse the stars and get some of the resources they need to bring back to the home planet. And I would imagine at some point in our evolution, we're going to be doing the exact same thing. So not a big shocker there. And then, so you've got, the reason I say multiple species is because these were human-looking aliens, these Sumerian gods. But the most common alien that people encounter, that they see, that they describe, that they draw, and the aliens that are always involved in these abductions are these grays. And the grays are a universal description. Doesn't matter what country it is, the United States, Russia, Asia, Africa, all people have described this short, gray-looking, kind of 3-4 foot tall being with these dark gray eyes. So that, you know, those guys don't look anything like our Sumerian ancestors. So this would lead me to believe that we've got multiple species that are affecting our planet in probably both positive and negative ways. There's definitely some negativity from some of these aliens. A lot of people have described reptilian-type creatures who give off a super bad vibe. I tend to believe that. The gray aliens are described, a lot of people describe them as emotionless creatures, meaning that they seem to be fairly indifferent to human emotions. They're aware of human emotions, but it's almost like they've been programmed to recognize human